My family gave my seat to my brother's wife at dinner and said, "You don't belong." So I left. Do you want me to also make it a longer dramatic version or keep it short and simple? They didn't even look at me when they said it. "Get out of the way, Sarah, that's for Evelyn. You don't belong here." My mother's voice was sharp, dismissive, as if she were flicking dust off a shelf. My usual seat, the one I'd occupied for years, was already taken. My brother's new wife smiled smugly as she adjusted, her dress settling into my spot without a second thought. The table was full. There was no chair left for me. I nodded calmly and turned toward the door. I could feel their amusement and hear the whispers behind my back. She's always been an outsider. I walked out. On the surface I was composed, but inside a fire raged. This wasn't the first time they had tried to make me disappear. I was the middle child, the quiet one, the one who never asked for anything. My brother commanded all the attention, and I was accustomed to the shadows. At first I blamed myself. Maybe I wasn't enough, but enough for what? Their affection was conditional, their approval a transaction. The first real break happened a few years ago when I discovered the truth. While I was working 2 jobs to pay off my college debt, my father had taken funds from the account my grandmother had set aside for me. "Your brother needed it for his wedding," he said, as if it were the most obvious thing, as if my future was unimportant and expendable. That was the night I stopped begging for a place at their table. That was the night I started building my own. From then on, the signs of betrayal were constant, like small painful cuts. My birthday was forgotten while theirs were celebrated with big parties. My opinions were dismissed at family gatherings. My brother's wives took whatever little space was left for me until I felt like a ghost in my own family. Each slight left a new scar, and with every scar I learned I didn't fight, I watched and I planned. My grandfather was the only one who truly saw me not as an inconvenience, but as a person with potential. He taught me about investments, real estate, and the value of a contract. He saw past my silence and recognized the discipline within me. When my parents removed me from their will, I didn't object. I had already moved past needing their handouts, but my grandfather, he wanted justice. He signed the deed of his estate over to me. This house, the same house they were all sitting in now, dismissing me. I told him I wouldn't reveal it just yet, because revenge, just like wealth, grows best in secrecy. So I let them mock me. I let them treat me like the worthless child. I let them give my seat away, because timing is everything. And that night, the perfect moment had arrived. When I reached the door, my grandfather's voice cut through the room, clear and authoritative. "Sit down, Sarah." I froze, and so did everyone else. My father shifted uncomfortably. "Dad, there's no room for her." "Enough," Grandpa snapped, slamming his hand on the table. His gaze swept across the room, sharp as a knife. Then he turned to me. "Actually, she owns this house." The silence was absolute. My mother's fork clattered onto her plate. My brother's wife went rigid in my chair. Her smug smile gone, I turned around slowly and walked back in. My heels clicked on the hardwood floor. I didn't rush. I didn't need to. Every second felt like a lifetime. I stopped next to the table right beside her. Evelyn looked up at me, her face pale. "What does he mean?" I leaned in close enough for her to feel my breath. "And means," I whispered, "you're sitting in my seat?" The collapse was glorious. My brothers demanded answers. My parents stuttered out excuses. My mother's face was flushed with shame, fury, and embarrassment. I didn't argue. I didn't explain. My grandfather slid the deed across the table. The official stamp was clear, and my name was written in bold ink. Every eye followed it, and every mouth fell silent. They realized then that the daughter they had disregarded, the sister they had mocked, the relative they had erased, was the one who now owned the roof over their heads. I pulled out a chair. Not the one Evelyn had taken, but the one at the head of the table. My grandfather nodded his head in pride. Slowly, I sat down. They watched me in stunned silence. "Dinner's getting cold," I said calmly as I poured myself a glass of wine. No one moved at first, then one by one they picked up their forks and shifted their plates. No one dared to look me in the eye. The power wasn't in the deed or the house, it was in the silence that followed. The silence of people who had suddenly realized their own insignificance. They had tried to erase me. Instead, I had erased their illusion of power that night. As laughter faltered and conversation stumbled, I sat at the head of the table in the house they no longer owned. Every betrayal, every insult, every stolen moment had led to this silence, this reckoning, and I savored it like the finest wine. I don't need their love or their acceptance. What I needed was respect, and respect is never given, it is earned. What lesson did you learn from this story? Please let me know in the comments.